Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Myself Ayushman, currently pursuing my Bachelor's of Engineering at Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Bangalore. Today we will be studying about the topic corrosion covered in chemistry. Now what we will be studying about this in this video lecture, we will be covering corrosion, its basic types, preventions, difference between wet corrosion and dry corrosion, and at last conclusion. Now let's start our video with introduction to corrosion. The first question which arises in our mind is what is corrosion? Corrosion. It is basically a natural process. In simple words, we can say corrosion is damage and disintegration of the metal starting from a portion then spreading to the whole metal bulk. Now let's see the definition of the corrosion. It is defined as the natural process that causes the transformation of the pure metal into undesirable substances when they react with substances like water or air. This reaction causes damage and disintegration of the metal starting from the portion of metal exposed to environment and spreading to the entire bulk of the metal. Here we are seeing the corrosion starts from a little point and it spread to the whole metal bulk and it also damages the whole metal. Next, basic types of corrosion. There are basically two types of corrosion we will study in this video: wet corrosion and dry corrosion. Wet corrosion is the corrosion which occurs in the presence of conducting medium, and dry corrosion is the corrosion which occurs in the absence of moisture. Then wet corrosion. Wet corrosion occurs when metal comes into contact with a moist or aqueous environment like water or humidity. Then electrochemical process, which metal acts as anode, releasing electrons and forming metal ions, oxidation reaction, etc. Cathode area remains protected while anode area is continuously dissolved. Here we are covering 3 points. First shows that wet corrosion is nothing but it is when metal is corroded when it is likely come in contact with the water or humidity. Second, oxidation reaction takes place and electrochemical processes are where metal acts as anode. Then cathode area remains the protected while anode area is continuously dissolved. Then dry corrosion. Dry corrosion is also known as atmospheric corrosion. Occurs in the absence of liquid, water, or high humidity. This process is very slow. Direct attack of chemicals on the metal surface. Corrosion products are formed at the site of the corrosion, and then the process of corrosion is uniform. Now let's study. This type of corrosion is typically caused by exposure to gases, vapors, or pollutants in the air. The rate of dry corrosion is often slower than the wet corrosion, but it still causes significant damage over time. Here we have studied two major basic types of corrosion, which are wet corrosion and dry corrosion. Now we will study difference between basic types of corrosion, which are dry corrosion and wet corrosion, which gives us first, the first column is filled with dry corrosion and the second column is filled with wet corrosion. First of all, first point, corrosion occurs in the absence of moisture. In dry corrosion, the corrosion is majorly occurs in the absence of moisture, but opposite side, it is presence of conducting medium. The corrosion occurs in the presence of conducting medium. And second point, it involves the direct attack of chemicals on the metal surface. But in opposite side, wet corrosion, it involves the formation of electrochemical cells. This process is slow. This is a rapid process. In dry corrosion, the process is slow, as the corrosion spreads from a little point to bulk matter by vapors or air by not getting moisture content in contact with the metal. But in the wet corrosion, it's a very rapid process, as a metal material also get wet or humidity, due to humidity also this occurs. That's why. In the dry corrosion, corrosion products are produced at the site of corrosion. But in the wet corrosion, corrosion occurs at anode, but the rust is deposited at the cathode. The process of corrosion is uniform in the dry corrosion, but it depends upon the size and anodic part of the metal in the wet corrosion. Like now we will give an example for both. In dry corrosion, formation of AgCl on silver metal and then rusting of iron in wet corrosion. Here we majorly studied the difference between both of them, wet corrosion and dry corrosion. Now next topic will be factors affecting corrosion. What are the major factors which are affecting the corrosion rate of corrosion? Temperature, humidity, chemical composition, mechanical stress. We have mentioned here 4 points which are majorly factors of the corrosion, causing corrosion. Higher temperature accelerates the corrosion rates, as they increases the reaction kinetics and facilitates the transport of corrosion species. So this gives and temperature is also a factor affecting the rate of corrosion. Humidity. As we mentioned, humidity is a major point. Increased humidity levels promote the formation of the electrolytic solutions, enabling the electrochemical corrosion process to occur more readily. Humidity high, so corrosion will be more high. Then chemical composition. The presence of certain ions such as chlorides, sulfates, or acids can significantly impact the corrosion rate by altering the chemistry of the environment. Then mechanical stress. Tensile strength can create cracks and pits, accelerating localized corrosion, while compressive stresses sometimes inhibit corrosion by reducing the exposed surface area. Next slide. Next slide shows us corrosion prevention strategies. What strategies we can use to prevent corrosion? Material selection, coating and finishes, cathodic protection. These 3 points we have mentioned. Material selection, choosing corrosion resistant materials such as stainless steel, titanium, prevent corrosion and extend the lifespan of the equipment or infrastructure. Coating and finishes. Applying protective coatings such as paint, enamels, electroplated finishes can create a barrier between metal and corrosive environment. Like we have seen in our homes, our windows, our many of almiras are painted by coating. They are done by coating. These are to prevent corrosion so that the metal surface that does not come in contact directly with the air or humidity. Third one, cathodic protection. Employing cathodic protection systems like compressed current or sacrificial anodes or electrochemical corrosion by maintaining a constant control on potential. Then next, coating and surface treatments. The majorly point which covers our prevents corrosion is coating and surface treatments. What we can treat on the surface of the metal. Corrosion prevents can be achieved through the application of a protective coating and surface treatment. These create a barrier between the metal and corrosive environment, shielding the underlying material. Common coating options include paints, enamel, electrochemical layers. Surface treatments such as anodizing, galvanization, and plasticization also help to resist corrosion. Next, cathodic protection. Sacrificial nodes, impressed current, monitoring and maintenance. Sacrificial nodes means attaching a more reactive metal to the structure. Impressed current, applying an external source of DC current. Monitoring and maintenance, regularly inspecting and adjusting the system. Is the then cathodic protection is highly effective method for preventing corrosion on metal surface, as it works by a small electrical current that reverses the natural electrochemical process, protecting the metal from distortion. Next, here comes the end of the slide conclusion part. In the conclusion, this presentation has provided a comprehensive review of the key aspects of the corrosion, its types, mechanisms, and prevention strategies. That's all we have studied in our video today. Corrosion, its basic types, difference between basic types, that are wet and dry corrosion, and then at last prevention techniques or strategies. That's all for today. Thank you.